a critical issue across the globe. Political and social economic crisis rocks the world, with governments looking for answers. Big businesses, churches and families all struggling for a solution. Citizens, on the other hand, are also asking why their governments and civil society have failed them.
You cannot seek to be a leader if you don't understand international politics, international questions.
Because if you don't know, you can't lead. A man cannot give what he does not have.
In Nigeria, leadership remains a huge challenge as young people seek the right answers. In realization of the demand for meaningful and purposeful leadership, the Center for Values in Leadership was born to raise a generation of value-oriented leaders. CVL is an initiative of a great motivator and a man who loves to walk the talk, Professor Pat Utomi. It was conceived as an intervention program to bridge the leadership gap that is widening daily in our society.
Many initiatives are really the effect of the force of an idea. In the late 1970s, as a graduate student in the United States, I became convinced of something, that in the culture of talk, many say a lot that they really are not committed to. As a result, I made a pledge that whatever social phenomenon I became critical of, I needed to make an effort, no matter how feeble, to provide some active solution to that problem.
At the heart of the CVL mission is the elevation of the dignity of a human person, beginning in Nigeria. The sense of a great duty and a big burden to improve the quality of life of young people in Nigeria by building the right values in them led to the setting up of the Center for Values in Leadership, CVL.
In 2004, we formally tried to bring together a variety of activities that we had been involved in under the platform of a Center for Values in Leadership, dedicated to essentially trying to empower and shape young minds in the hope that one mind at a time we could shape our world, because we were building leadership values that could reorient things.
The Center for Values in Leadership offers various training programs to inculcate true leadership culture in young people. In corporate social responsibility CSR outsourcing, we help clients to develop and implement their CSR. Through CSR outsourcing, we bridge the gap between a needy community and the CSR budget of the organization. The community's needs are met and the organization enjoys the satisfaction of seeing results for its efforts. We have managed the CSR project for ExxonMobil, DFID, TY Danjuma Foundation, and more. The CVL Leadership Development Center was born primarily out of the need to create an institution and skills needed to establish and sustain relevant companies. Our target is on the top series of leadership and values that we believe accounting, human resourcing, marketing, operations management, etc. that people learn in business schools and similar institutions. The center trains students, young managers, and senior managers and young professionals.
That first leg of our tripod was learning to learn, how we prepare people, create a culture of learning to learn in young people. The second part of the tripod, essentially, was about service, sacrificial giving of oneself for the good of others, because people don't trust you if you don't care about them. And very importantly, until you can have a sense of giving something bigger than yourself, a legacy, a sense of seeking immortality, you really can be a leader of worth. Thirdly, very importantly, courage of conviction. Because too often people become convinced about what is right, given their conscience, given their knowledge, but they lack the courage to stay with that which is right.
The relationship between employee unions and company management appears to have taken a "you are the oppressor, we are the oppressed" dimension, causing a cold war between two parties that are supposed to be collaborating to achieve a common progressive vision. The issue of contextual relevance at this point is not who is right or wrong between management and employee unions, but how this indispensable relationship can be smoothened out to become productive to the economy and beneficial to both parties. CVL, after much study and research, has developed a program solution for the management and labor union conflicts experienced by corporations in Nigeria, the CVL model for industrial harmony. This retreat-structured program aims to smoothen the relationship between management and employee unions through purpose reorientation, while teaching modern rules in labor management engagement and introducing a program of continuing education for both parties on the grievance process and law conflict institutional arrangement for managing workplace issues, such as the JCC, the Joint Consultative Committee model. The CVL annual lecture is one of the important programs of CVL and a key instrument we have adopted to constructively contribute to the nation building and national development since 2004. The lecture attracts more than 600 high-profile guests drawn from the public, corporate and business sectors in Nigeria. At this event, which holds every February, we assemble note-thinking leaders and renowned experts from around the world to discuss topics relevant to our country's economic and social-political development. CVL makes no material gain from organizing this program. The Role Model Forum is a CVL interactive monthly program where an individual who has achieved remarkable success in his or her field of endeavor shares his or her life experiences that the participants can relate to. The role model shares how he or she overcame challenges while upholding the right values and ethics. The participants will then ask questions and share similar experiences and lessons learned.
I want to see how I can further reposition what I do.
The goal of this program is to inspire young people to become achievers in their various organizations, and the program attracts more than 100 professionals every month. Through this program, the young professional gets more committed to his work, bearing in mind that one day he or she will rise to the top.
I came here expectant. I came here expecting a lot of information. So I came to inspire myself, basically, to learn from experienced people, and I wasn't disappointed.
It's a wonderful experience. I am particularly impressed by what CVL is doing. They are setting the role model, creating values, and showing people how to go about doing their businesses. And that is one thing I'm for sure that a lot of Nigerian entrepreneurs need.
What struck me the most was that the speakers were frank. I mean, it was no highfalutin theories. It was really the basics, how they each went through to getting where they are today. I must confess I had intended spending just half the day. I was going to leave after the first speaker spoke. But then I stayed on, and I'm so glad it was such a well-spent day. Apart from the knowledge gained, I also met one or two people who I feel I can collaborate with on the various things I'm looking to do. So altogether, a fantastic experience, and I will definitely tell people about it.
CVL, that's exactly what, I feel is absolutely required in this country, in the continent as a whole. People are looking for role models. There are a lot of young people who are talented, a lot of young people who have ideas, and, meeting role models and creating and celebrating role models, getting a chance to listen to their stories is absolutely the right step.
As a sense of service is part of the CVL tripod, the CVL uses environmental cleanup to build a habit of service in members, as cleanliness is next to godliness. CVL members regularly engage in the service of cleaning up neighborhoods.
The exercise started with a community in Lagos called Ije, near the police barracks in Obalende. And in the Ije community, at the time, garbage was mountain high. And we brought out these young professionals to try and clear the garbage. And to show them that this was not punishment, we tried to bring, quote-unquote, leaders, celebrity leaders, to join in these exercises, to bring some glamour and example.
The exercise was bringing back memories of how do you keep an environment clean. If each one of us make sure that our little space, our little environment is clean, the whole of the environment will be clean. And so it was part of the process to start sensitizing people to the fact that you can keep an environment clean yourself and not have to wait for somebody else to do it.
The Widow Support Center is a program initiated in 1992 by Professor Pat Utomi to support the widows in alleviating the burden and challenges they face in the society owing to the demise of their husbands. WSC also plays an advocacy role in trying to address some social injustices against widows through citizen education programs, challenging specific cases of injustices in the law courts, and seeking a legislative agenda that can result in a system that is more sensitive to the plights of the widows. It also provides opportunity for service for CVL members.
Our founder, Professor Utomi, was amongst the very first people to start an intervention program for widows over 25 years ago. Today, over 1,000 people, both directly and indirectly, have benefited from this intervention. Our mission is to have a world of empowered widows with dignity. And our mission is to build a network of contented widows through social welfare, mindset reorientation, income generation, and advocacy.
Here is an interesting story of some women who are beneficiaries of the CVL Widow Empowerment Programs through skill acquisition and loan schemes.
I went to the market at Lagos and he traveled to Ibadan. By the time in the evening they rushed in to come and call me around 3 o'clock afternoon that he's unconscious. They rushed him to the hospital. But before he got to the hospital, he was in coma. Overnight he passed beyond.
Of the past 8 years, I lost my husband. January 22nd, year 2005. And since then, I've joined, a friend of mine made me to join this club, the Widows Club. And I've been benefiting from it a lot. We had a program, we had a project, soap making and other things. I learned that from the project. But the main is my business in Akirele 107, that is the Kampala selling. With the help of Almighty God, from the Widows Club, I took a loan of which I'm improving in it.
Two of these women that we are here this morning to come and teach us how to do soap, Isa and different things. But I say, with my age, let me just concentrate on only soap and Isa. So I do soap and Isa. It all came through Pat Utomi. After learning us at the Calabar Hall, he even took other women to come and teach us again in our center.
I've benefited loans from them because they gave me a loan and which I am going back at my convenience. They don't worry me. They don't disturb me. It's at my convenience.
Over the years, we have trained widows and their children on ICT skills, health interventions, skill acquisitions, microcredit loans for their businesses, and we recently launched the Widows Entrepreneurship Training Program, WETP, in June 2018. According to the United Nations, there are over 245 million widows worldwide, and we would like to invite the general public to support our work so that we can close the poverty gap in Nigeria and reduce the despair and agony of women and children who have lost their breadwinners.
CVL Club is a leadership development platform for students and young professionals between the ages of 18 and 35. CVL Club membership is voluntary. The purpose of this club is to transform young people into effective, value-driven leaders. Under the CVL Club, we create, maintain, and expand a crucible of young minds into a membership club with cells in higher institutions. Each cell serves as a forum for positive debate, brainstorming, and cross-fertilization of ideas. The members are the primary beneficiaries of our knowledge-based programs with full access to the CVL Library and Book Club. CVL, Center for Values in Leadership, initiated the Leader Without Title LWT Sector Leadership Tribute Series to honor outstanding sector leaders at some important point in their lives. This program is in keeping with our commitment to affect the next generation to be leaders without care for title. Its aim is to erect role models for the next generation and salute and reward those who have run the race well.
I once again congratulate Chief Anyoko, and on behalf of the Center for Values and Leadership, I wish to present this award to you as an exceptional sector leader. Congratulations.
We are both seeking, for instance, a knowledge-based society. We want to promote the level of understanding of international affairs in Nigeria. And since the CVL, for instance, is now looking at the personality, the characteristics of state actors, as well as non-state actors, the roles they are playing in Nigeria's foreign relations, now placing a greater emphasis on international life, which, as I've said earlier on, is not generally emphasized, even in the teaching in most of our universities. We thought that it's, the CVL is a good ally, and that is why we have come together.
The CVL Leadership Mill is committed to equipping generations of young Nigerians, secondary and undergraduate students, and young professionals with values and leadership skills which will make them become effective, value-driven leaders and make them catalysts for improvement of the quality of life in Nigeria. The Center for Values in Leadership Bootcamp series is one of the special and effective methods of teaching, training, engaging and inculcating values and leadership skills to young people.
Looking at the current situation in Nigeria and West Africa, there is this problem of leadership. So what we do as Center for Values in Leadership is to develop the individuals and managers policy implementation in team management and managing staff for peak performance. We have a combination of, techniques and strategies to deliver the leadership training, which include practical session, case studies, tic-tac approach, and so many other, innovations we have brought into the leadership training.
In order to reverse the ugly trend of degeneration that has permeated our society, there's an urgent need to heed the call to raise a new generation of leaders with the training and skills to change our fortune and secure us for a better tomorrow. The Center for Values in Leadership has seized the bull by the horn. It is time for all and sundry to join us in raising the right set of young people today for tomorrow's challenges.
What you learn here is far bigger than what you learn in the universities. Universities, you'll read the textbooks and learn the textbooks, but here you are learning the rules of a life, the rules of engagement, how you go about applying what you have learned in the universities in order to achieve your real goals and values in life.
Very soon, Nigeria will be better off because of an organization like CVL that is preaching, acting, and teaching young people and leaders presently about values in leadership context of Nigerian society.
So in selling clothes and selling other things and having shops everywhere, selling food ingredients and so many things like that, we still add to the things we learn in this place. And we are still learning because Partitomi is still ready to bring in people to teach us more things.
I thank Professor Tome and the rest who have been organizing this club to help women out of their hardship.
At the Center for Values in Leadership, we are answering the leadership question with pragmatic interventions.
As Robin Sharma will say, unless you can go down to your grave knowing that your life made another life better, living really has left something to be desired. And that's what leadership is about.
Hi, they call me #1 sax boss, the Nigerian sax king and the Africa sax oracle. My name is Yemi Sax. Got a little advice for you and you who aspire to be great in life. Be focused, be hardworking, believe and respect the masters. Then the sky will be your starting point. To all my beautiful fans out there, thanks for believing in me and welcome to my 5th saxophone album.
is your favorite #1 Nigerian saxophonist. My name is Yemi Sax.
So this is the pedagogy of the trend. Our teaching approach in CVL is to ask everybody who will come to learn something about leadership, to ask themselves what kind of world, what kind of company, what kind of society they'd like to see, and what kind of knowledge will equip them to provide the kind of sacrificial giving of self for the good of others that will lead to the synergy that will enable them get to that destination. So this is the very base model of how we teach leadership at the CVL.
The bane of the crisis in our economy is lack of positive leadership. CVL is working assiduously to impact other stakeholders to ensure that we get the leadership question right.
Leadership affects every aspect of our lives, from our homes to our places of work to our society as a whole.
What is special about CVL Leadership Management Training? Our focus is solely on leadership and how it helps performance. Our unique selling point is based on our teaching method for 3 levels of staff in organizations.
We encourage you to register your employees for one of our training programs today.
Why do we have the leader without title, tribute, colloquium? And one important thinking on leadership that affected me, that impacted me, was that offered by the Canadian Robin Sharma, that focuses on the leader who had no title. It was particularly interesting for me because our culture, public culture in Nigeria, is very, very much authority focused. We find that the world is not getting moved forward so much by position as it is being moved forward by people who lead even when they don't have the title. And this series was designed essentially to use as example some of those people to educate the general community on the one hand, but particularly our emphasis, the young, to educate the young of our country and to recognize that it's not about your title.
The event today, wait for it, has categorically proved people who attain the age of 70 and above are not brain dead. For honoring Professor Sage at 74 and me at 83 on Sunday. Truly and certainly, we are mentally alive and brain alive.
Unless the rate of learning is equal to or greater than the pace of change in the environment, an organization is progressively becoming a dinosaur. You can say the same thing for an individual. Unless an individual is learning at a rate that is faster than the pace of change in the environment, that individual is becoming a dinosaur.
Very often we underestimate how very much our women are pillar to society.
When you have problems as a widow, don't back down. Don't kill yourself. Put everything, call God first. When you call God, God will show you the way. God will tell you what to do. In every pain a widow is going through, there's always treasure in that pain. When you lose your husband, the first place you go to is Jehovah. You go and find Jesus wherever he is.
Be bold. Be joyful that the God who made you is your husband. And always eternally young, can nem bulunda on nem tala.
The issues, problems, and challenges associated with widowhood in Nigeria cannot be overemphasized. Many widows and other vulnerable women in Nigeria find themselves in desperate and dangerous situations, economically, financially, and socially.
Any society that does not get the most out of 50% or more of its population very obviously denies itself the opportunity to be what it could be.
Mrs. Oda Njoko, on behalf of Widow Support Center, I present this text. Congratulations.
Critical time awaits many widows who find it difficult to survive. For this reason, the Patutomi Widow Support Center launched the Women Entrepreneurship Training Program, WETP. The Women Entrepreneurship Training Program is designed to help widows and their children achieve financial independence, food security, economic self-reliance, and resilience by helping them build skills and resources to start micro-enterprises. The program has the following components: arts of living and leadership development, business and entrepreneurship training, practical internships with business mentors, and presentation of startup kits. The Widow Support Center is willing and ready to collaborate with partners to build lasting solutions to issues of poverty and hunger among widows. The problem of youth unemployment is one of the biggest challenges facing Africa as a continent. Almost all the 54 African countries with a combined population of 1.2 billion people have very high unemployment rates among the youth.
No society that leaves a significant number of its people behind can prosper in a sustainable manner. What the challenge of development really is a challenge of opportunities being open to all. And there can be demographic challenges to having opportunity open to all. And so certain parts of town that are quote unquote down the socio-economic ladder tend to get left behind.
Based in Lagos, Nigeria, the Center for Values in Leadership, CVL, is dedicated to equipping young people with values and leadership skills. CVL initiated the Young Entrepreneurship Training Program, YETP, a holistic approach towards youth economic, social, and leadership development. The YETP approach of skills enhancement, capacity building in entrepreneurship and business management, as well as access to finance, has been piloted and scaled up with 500 beneficiaries in Ajegunle, Lagos, and in Warri, Agbo, Ozoro, and Ibuzo in Delta State. The success recorded in the CVL YETP pilot projects has shown that skills enhancement through internship, apprenticeship, vocational skills training, job shadowing, and business mentoring is a key element for job creation and youth employment. Even with the ongoing success of this initiative, there is still much to be done. CVL continues to work with both local and international partners across multiple sectors to impact more lives and reduce poverty in Nigeria and Africa at large. Join us as we shape our world, one mind at a time.
Very often we underestimate how very much our women are pillar to society.
When you have problems as a widow, don't cast down. Don't kill yourself. Put everything, call God first. When you call God, God will show you the way. God will tell you what to do.
In every pain a widow is going through, there's always treasure in that pain. When you lose your husband, the first place you go to is Jehovah. You go and find Jesus where.
Be bold. Be joyful that the God who made you is your husband. And always eternally
The issues associated with widowhood in Nigeria cannot be overemphasized. Many widows and other vulnerable women in Nigeria find desperate and dangerous situations, economically, financially, and socially.
Any society that does not get the most out of 50% or more of its population, very obviously denies itself the opportunity to be what it could be.
Mrs. Oda Njoko, on behalf of Widow Support Center, I present this text. Congratulations.
Critical time awaits many widows who find it difficult to survive. For this reason, the Patutomi Widow Support Center launched the Women Entrepreneurship Training Program, WETP. The Women Entrepreneurship Training Program is designed to help widows and their children achieve financial independence, food security, economic self-reliance, and resilience by helping them build skills and resources to start micro-enterprises. The program has the following components: arts of living and leadership development, business and entrepreneurship training, practical internships with business mentors, and presentation of startup kits. The Widow Support Center is willing and ready to collaborate with partners to build lasting solutions to issues of poverty and hunger among widows.
So this is the pedagogy of the determined. Our teaching approach in CVL is to ask everybody who has come to learn something about leadership to ask themselves what kind of world, what kind of company, what kind of society they'd like to see, and what kind of knowledge will equip them to provide the kind of sacrificial giving of self for the good of others that will lead to the synergy that will enable them get to that destination. So this is the very base model of how we teach leadership at the CVL.
The bane of the crisis in our economy is lack of positive leadership. CVL is working assiduously to impact other stakeholders to ensure that we get the leadership question right.